Hi, listeners, and welcome to My Holland Update. This month, I have Kevin Lee, one of the city's multimedia specialists, as our guest host, and we are talking about the new webcam that has been installed at Holland State Park. Welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be here.
This has really been a 2-year project in the works, and there is one of 8 My Holland webcams, this 8th one now being at Holland State Park, and it's a pilot program for NOAA.
Yeah, it's a really unique camera. It may not be the first camera on the Great Lakes, but it is the first that's going to be used for research by NOAA.
So, Kevin, is NOAA doing this anywhere else? Do they have cameras doing research on rip currents and wave actions?
Yeah, the cameras they have are on the Gulf shores, so they are doing this on the ocean.
Okay.
So that is also a pilot program out there that they're kind of starting to transition that into a actual model they can replicate. But this is the first one on a Great Lakes body of water that is doing this kind of research. This
has really been a 2-year project in the works, pretty much spearheaded by yourself, correct?
Yeah, it kind of came actually from maybe even a little back farther than 2 years, because in 2017 we did a red flag video promoting water safety. And with that, we built a lot of relationships with first responders and Holland State Park. And we kind of asked, what's next? How do we keep it going that you need to be safe when you're at the beach? So with that, we kind of got connections with our local weather service, and then they got me in contact with the national group, the NOAA group. And Greg is a scientist there, and he was really interested in having a camera here. So it actually uses artificial intelligence. They feed in images that we send him into a computer, and it tries to analyze it and predict how bad the riptides are.
Because Holland State Park has had some very tragic events, and the more that they can predict, they can get that information out to beachgoers. And then that's where the Michigan DNR is coming in and helping to also utilize that via their flag system, correct?
Yeah, so a lot of people are using the cameras. So there's kind of 3 main points I guess we could do with it. The DNR and the National Weather Service like to have a visual observation of what does it actually look like. And then with NOAA, we're actually sending them an image at the top of every hour. We send them a video clip of 10 minutes, so it'll flip over to a specific view that they want. And they get a clip, and then that's how they analyze it. And then the third thing is really safety. So if there was an incident out there, Ottawa County 911 has access to the camera to move it wherever they need to. The camera is an HD camera. It is a pan camera, so it can move around anywhere it needs to go, 360.
And then I guess a little bit more with the camera. Michigan, we've got 4, can be very harsh seasons, so it still withstands within the winter and through the hot summer months, and ice, and especially out on the pier. It holds up to all of that, or will hold up to all of that.
That's our hope.
Yeah.
the camera says it will. The specs on it. So yeah, it's actually located on the NOAA Tower. So if you go to the North Pier at Holland State Park, there's a little blue building at the base of that, and there's a tower where all their equipment is. And so they allowed us to mount our camera up on that tower, but also by doing that, it's completely exposed to all the elements from Lake Michigan.
Sure.
So the camera is a little more robust than our other cameras around the city. Okay. It's rated for, I think it's a negative 50 degrees. I mean, more than what we have here.
Hopefully, right? Yeah.
But we figured, hey, with the extreme ice and cold, and I mean, when we had the polar vortex,
sure.
I mean, we had a couple cameras around town that basically just kind of went silent and said, we'll wake up when it's warmer. Our hope is that this camera, it's got a little heater in it. It's all waterproof, just like our other cameras are as well. But okay. So we're hoping that, it's going to offer a lot of really nice views of Lake Michigan.
People can go on, and can they move this camera?
This camera we don't allow the public to move.
Okay.
Some of our other cameras around the city we do.
Okay.
The reason we're not allowing this one to be moved is because of that research project with NOAA.
Sure.
It's very important that we have that 10 minutes of the camera not moving on that view. Otherwise, it's going to screw up their research. So that's really our only rule, is that during that first 10 minutes of the hour, it has to be at that view. Otherwise, we get to move it around and enjoy views of Big Red, the beach, the piers, boats coming in and out of the channel. But that's kind of our only restriction, is that 10-minute window.
Sure. And then funding for this one, we've got a sponsor for this camera.
Yeah, we're very pleased that Bigby of Holland and Zealand kind of came forward. That was one of the reasons the project kind of took a little while, is because we had to find money to pay for it.
Sure.
We had to get agreements with NOAA to be able to place the camera on the tower, and we had to get an agreement with the DNR to place some internet and technology in one of their visitors booths over there. So when we got connected with Bigby and they were able to sponsor the camera, their name is on the camera, that really freed up the money to allow us to put the camera in, because the camera, many people might be surprised, but Holland State Park is not actually in the city of Holland. But this was a project that we felt very passionate about, because obviously City of Holland residents go to Holland State Park, and
Sure.
we want everyone to be safe regionally. So when we got the money from Bigby to help pay for that, that's what really kind of cleared the way, and we're very excited that it's a great partner. We've done other things with them. They do a lot of stuff for the community, so it's a really good thing.
A real collaborative project working with national organizations, regional organizations, local organizations, that being NOAA, Michigan DNR, Bigby, all coming together to really make this project come into fruition, all for the benefit of the visitors far and wide, those looking through the camera, those on the beach, those for research at a later point in time. Really what a great collaboration of agency work.
And that's how great projects come about. I think I'm a real big believer in partnerships, and everybody has a piece of that, and everybody takes ownership in it, and now everybody gets to enjoy it. I mean, the first day that we had it public, we did a live stream of the sunset, and we reached over 30,000 people in one night watching
incredible.
the sunset. Yeah, it's really amazing. And then just on our website alone, outside of Facebook, we had about 20,000 viewers in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it's a popular thing.
Sure.
It's even the sky cams around Holland. It's funny, we get calls randomly of someone saying, like, I really like that camera, could you move it to the left so I could see the train station better? People just really love watching it. I think there's a lot of snowbirds that like to check in their
Sure.
hometown, people that used to live here, people that are thinking of moving here. I mean, there's so many different avenues, and you always wonder how they find it.
Right.
But the local TV stations do have access to the cameras as well, and a lot of them use them in their weather segments, so that's another exposure point that we have.
Well, great. Is there anything surprised you kind of going through this process that would be interesting for the public to know, or?
Maybe nothing surprising, but I think there's a pretty detailed page. If you go to myhollandcam.cityofholland.com, there's actually a link right above this camera to bring you to kind of a lot of background information about the camera, but also inside of there, it automatically generates a time lapse from the previous day. So that's automatically on there. And then also we take pictures once in a while of cool things that happen out there, and then we upload it to a photo album. So we're hoping to kind of build that out a little bit.
Okay.
So we've already had some kind of freighters go by, tugboats, stand-up paddle boarders at the sunset. There's just been a lot of interesting kite surfing happened the other day. It's been fun to get a lot of feedback already on the camera. It's been a great project.
Pretty neat thing for Holland to be kind of on the map with NOAA, to be a pilot program for them and the first on the Great Lakes.
Yeah, Holland's always been very forward-thinking and really embraces technology, and it's nice that the city supports projects like this.
Absolutely.
It hopefully, I really hope that it benefits a lot of people. I hope it helps to prevent someone from going out on the pier, and now that they know that it's not safe when we promote that. Because with the high water now, those piers just get overtaken very easily. But this will give us an extra eye on that and hopefully keep people safe.
Great. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Until next month, this has been My Holland Update.